time to get real. I want to see some crazy Wiz Biz.
What's the magic made out of, Ding Dong?
I want to see some of that Wiz Biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical! Bacon pancake!
Welcome back to the Wiz Biz with Alexx and Erik. I'm Erik.
And I'm Alex.
What we do is we cover episodes of Adventure Time, sort of. And in this episode, we are covering from Season 1, Episode 6, The Jiggler, Episode 7, Ricardio, the Heart Person, or I probably got that name wrong, and Episode 8, Business Time. And now to kick everything off, here's Alexx telling us why we're doing 3 episodes in one podcast.
Because Erik, this episode kind of blows, and the next one is much better. And Erik, I'm not even all that fond of the third one, even though I think that's Brian Posehn. No, they're fine. It's just, there's certain episodes we talked about, at least I've mentioned how I'm impressed on how much kind of lore and what I like about the show later gets established early. These are more 3 episodes of, they're fine, they're fun enough, but I don't know that there's much, you know, there's episodes where there's like occultism in it, and you and I can talk about stuff and have like discussion around it. This one, I don't think either of you know a juice baby. Either of you. That was weird. I just went into some weird third person thing. I just went into some shit.
I mean, that juice baby, the Jiggler. I honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say about this episode. I'm not a huge fan of it. Jiggler is a weird little critter that makes me feel uncomfortable. It's gross. The best thing about the episode is the joke at the beginning where they bring the watermelon and sausage back to the hut, and they're like, "There you go, Stanley. Wow, you get into more trouble than any watermelon." And there's no evidence that Stanley is sentient or animate like the rest of the.
He just looks like a watermelon.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Richard Brodigan. I have an idea for a segment that I didn't tell you about. I'm going to tell you right now, because this is somebody in the running. Is at the end of each episode, we should vote for who won the episode, that being just the random background character. Like Tree Trunks, I would vote for the skeleton mariachi butterflies. This episode, we could vote for Stanley the Watermelon. I'm not saying we are.
I think Stanley the Watermelon is a shoo-in.
Yes, so I just want to establish this, that there may be something coming. So as we talk about the episodes and maybe some background character show, it could be major characters. I'm not your boss. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
There is one thing. So one of the things that the Jiggler does is it does have one of those lessons of the week at the end, which is Finn saying, "And I'll never kidnap again," which is a great lesson for him to learn, because the whole premise of Finn versus the Ice King is that Finn saves kidnapped princesses.
Yes.
Princesses. We should practice saying that word at the beginning.
Princesses?
When we're doing our vocal warm-ups,
I think I said it perfectly right there.
You did. I said it.
I somehow referred to myself as they, which was baffling. But
maybe you're possessed. I mean, honestly, that's all I need to say about that episode.
Well, I do. So I have more points than you on this one, because I forced myself to write stuff down, because this episode's nothing. But it's a talking point too. So one of the things we haven't brought up a lot on this show is how often dancing comes up. And this episode is largely based around Finn singing and them having a dance party.
Yes, there's the whole vocoder, like he swallowed a tiny computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the question for you is, Erik, do you dance?
I do. I don't dance well or often. And, I'm pretty shy about it.
So if you were, let's say we're at a wedding together.
Uh-huh.
And there's, obviously the reception, there's dancing going on. Would you ever just willingly go and dance?
Yeah, I think I would.
Interesting.
I mean, this is something that's different for me. Like, I never used to do that, but at some point I was kind of like, I realized that nobody really gives a shit.
The reason I asked is because I want to talk about myself.
Okay, I figured.
No, well, honestly, I was curious about you, because my whole life I've been of the opinion that I don't want to dance. Dancing is stupid. And not other people dancing is fine. My dancing would be stupid.
Uh-huh.
I've tried it a couple times, didn't take to it. But I'm starting as I'm entering into like kind of the firm strides of middle age. I'm starting to like maybe not regret not dancing, but like maybe somewhere in the back of my head I kind of want to.
Yeah, I went through that, I think. I sort of came to a spot where, because I mean, I think there was a part of me that always wanted to feel comfortable dancing, but I was...
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I wanted to feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, because that's I think more what I'm saying is I don't want to dance. I want to feel comfortable dancing.
Yeah.
I'll probably not take up the right for it. Like, I'll probably never do it. But I just want the kind of the serenity, the chill, the bodhisattva-like nature of people that can just dance it and enjoy themselves. I would like to enjoy myself. That's actually probably the first step I should get through.
Okay, I have 2 ideas. One is something that I have done, and another is something that might not be the best idea I've ever had. So the thing that I have done is dancing alone at home. You know, put on some music and just dance as you're cooking, or dance for your own...
I am a cooking dancer, but I'm more of like a cooking shimmier. There's never full moves. There is...
You know, the shimmy is a dance. It's just a mild dance.
Even saying it is shimmy, it's more of a somewhat rhythmic swaying or something along those lines. Like very, very minimal movement, which is about all I really feel like doing.
Sort of like how a zombie sort of shambles, that sort of sway.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like slightly more on beat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because that's what they say, dance like no one's watching. But like, when no one's watching, I don't really want to dance. But I do kind of I want someone to... I want to tell an embarrassing story here, because you can tell how much we care about these episodes. So, I don't like dancing. I don't like when people ask me to dance. There's a whole thing of wedding people just ruining other people's nights by going, come on, you know you want to dance. And there's no way to actually explain to them, no, literally, I don't. I'm not being shy. I do not want to dance. And then you ruin their night, and they kind of ruin your night, which is 100% their fault. So I was out drinking with this lady that I sort of knew. I knew well enough that like maybe things would progress. And we went back to her place, and she decided to have a dance party. And I was like, okay. So I was just kind of sitting there, and she was dancing. I'm like, this is awesome, you know, because like she's attractive, moving around. This is great. And she's like, all right, you have to dance. She gets me up. I'm like, fine. And I'm very drunk at this point. And I'm like, I'm trying to like just do something. And she says, and I quote, do you even like music? That's how bad I was at it. And I keep in mind, this is not the thing that's holding me back from dancing. Because like at no point did I think, oh, I'm going to be good at this. I'm not that kind of, I don't have that kind of toxic masculine ego thinking, oh, I have a dick, therefore I'll be great at things. I'm aware I'd be shit at it. But like, I was so shit at it. Like, so shit at it.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely something that requires a little bit of practice, which was why I think dancing alone at home is something that could prepare you for dancing in the real world.
Yeah.
Especially if you do something like watch 80s music videos and you see how bad their dancing is, but you say to yourself, you know what? I can dance as good as Courtney Cox in Can't Light a Fire Without a Spark. Like, everybody can.
This is an interesting thing as well. I don't know what good dancing looks like, other than maybe like a Fred Astaire or those two dudes that dance up and down the steps back in the 30s. I don't remember the something brothers. Like, I'm like, that's very impressive. But like, because during my thinking about dancing, I went and looked at, I Googled for examples of good casual dancing. Because I'm like, what does casual people dancing well look like?
Oh, good question.
And it just, I mean, I
don't know.
It just looks kind of dumb to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, I think the joy of dancing comes from just allowing yourself to let your body move with music.
Yeah, that is so, like, not my thing.
And I don't think that it comes easily to everybody.
No.
But I have found that as I have, done my own private dance parties at home, it does become more comfortable, and you do start to feel better about it, even though I know that I look ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's kind of what dancing is. Maybe dancing is about everybody looking ridiculous together.
I mean, I think I'd look cool because I'm, like a mountain of like grizzled muscle and testosterone. I'm basically like a walking six pack. So like, I'd probably look cool anyway. But By the way, this is not a video show, so I can say things like that.
Nobody knows that we both look like the Jiggler.
Yeah. I mean, true.
Yeah,
Like, speaking
to
truth.
get back to that episode.
Well, the only other notes I have on the episode is I think it's funny that his favorite food is drawing. Mm-hmm. That's clever. And that Finn and Jake have a glass eye and eye patch collection, respectively.
And all of Jake's eye patches were in mint condition.
Yes.
But, okay, well, I think we know where they got them, which we will discover in the Businessmen episode. And I had one more note, one thing that I thought was kind of cute and a nice callback. So when it's time, for them to put the Jiggler to bed, Finn's like, you can have the most comfortable spot on the bed, and like puts Jiggler in the normal human spot on the bed. And then Finn curls up at the foot of the bed like a dog.
Yeah.
And I totally was like, oh, right, because he was raised by dogs.
Yes.
That's what he thinks is probably normal.
That's like the Muppet Babies of Raised by Wolves.
Yeah. Okay, before we get into the next episode, I have a segment called It's Time to Open the Sake. So this is Junmai Ginjo, and that's about all I know about it because it's all in Japanese. I know that it's a 900 milliliter carton, like a box, like you'd get your milk in. And it's from Tatsuma Honke Brewing Company in Nishinomiya, Nara. Oh, and there are lots of diagrams and things on here. And I was looking at this one saying, like, what's that thing about the scissors? But I think that's how you recycle the box.
Oh, yeah.
I got this at John's Marketplace a few months ago, maybe many months ago. And it was the sort of thing where I was, like, hanging out there with a buddy that I hadn't seen in a while. And one of the bartenders was like, hey, there's a sake tasting down at the other end of the bar. And so we went down to the other end of the bar. Nice. And, of course, they just had all this super fancy sake. So, since this isn't a sake podcast, I'm just going to assume that everybody out there knows as little about sake as I do. There are so many different types. This one is clear, which I think is in... honestly, I don't remember. I'm not going to say anything else about it because I'm just going to sound like an idiot. Anyhow, it's clear and it smells sake-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That is a nice sake. It is sweet, smooth, kind of funky, kind of hot. You can kind of taste the alcohol in it.
I'm having a thought here.
Yeah?
I don't know if I've ever had sake while sober.
Oh.
I think that's the first time I've ever tasted sake with a sober tongue. I like it, but it's not what I remembered it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's because I'm usually hammered at a sushi restaurant when this is happening.
Yeah, I find sake to be super interesting, but I'm not like a huge fan, so I don't drink it very often.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've had this box for so long, and it's been like sitting there, and I've been saying to myself for months, like, oh, there'll be an event, there'll be something, there'll be some reason to open this up. And finally today, I was like, you know what, I should take this. So the reason to open it up is we're going to talk about it.
Is drink the juice.
Yep, drink the juice.
Speaking about something juicy, Ricardio.
The heart person.
Yes.
Is that the name of the episode?
I think it's Ricardio the heart guy.
Maybe it's Ricardio the heart guy.
Well, that's what I wrote down, but my note taking is less than what I would refer to as ideal. So that could be just me not wanting to type the whole word person.
It's very possible. Ricardio the heart person. Anyhow, Ricardio's a creepy dude. And like Finn, I didn't like him from the beginning. And it makes sense when you eventually learn Ricardio's, secret origin story. He's from a creepy place. He's literally the Ice King's heart.
True.
And that's a bad place to be from. George Takei, being the voice actor, actually adds a lot to this episode for me because there are a few scenes where Ricardio and Princess Bubblegum engage in that kind of like Star Trek-y pseudoscience talk where they just sounds like they're making up words, like the Boobatron plasmoidal formation. Probably didn't say that right.
I don't know. When you say it sounds like they're making up words, I don't think you really need the sounds like. It's just they're making up.
It sounds, well, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is it sounds like they're improvising science words, except that they do use the same terms over and over again. But the Boobatron plasmoidal formation was my favorite. I wrote that one down. And then that would mean the Babylons would fluctuate inside the Piranha Sphere.
Yeah, which is true. That's real science.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I read that in A Brief History of Time.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. That's really, really bad. And Princess Bubblegum had some great lines in this episode.
Yeah. Well, let's start the beginning where we meet with Ice King. He's kidnapping Princess Bubblegum.
Sort of his hobby.
There is the setup that the end of this is that Finn and Jake trick the Ice King into kissing Jake's butt. Mm-hmm. That's the fun. That's all I just established that because the end of the episode is the payoff to what is Chekhov's
dog butt?
Chekhov's dog butt, yeah.
Yeah, I had that written down too. That's the first thing I wrote down. Ice King kissed Jake's butt.
And PB hugs Finn, going with the kind of, she's a bit of a
tease.
Playing with his emotions.
Yeah,
type.
and he turns bright red. He blushes crazy.
How old is Finn?
He's like 10?
Okay, that's what I was thinking, like 10, 11. Okay.
Yeah.
We meet back at the castle in Candy Kingdom, and Ricardio is giving Lumpy Space Princess a best friend massage.
And with lots of farting noises.
Yes.
And
but I'm a little confused about it. He goes, it's a best friend. It can only be done between people that are close friends, so it's completely consensual. I don't think that's the right word.
Yeah, because there's no way Ricardio and Lumpy Space Princess are best friends because...
But also, no, but completely consensual, like, that would mean, like, there's consent, like, they agreed upon it. So,
which
like, going to a massage parlor is completely consensual. Like,
sure.
It's a useless word. Like, he's basically saying, and the best part about it is I'm not raping her. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
It's just a weird...
It's a creepy thing to say, Ricardio.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's a character point, or they just got... Because the word sensual is in it, they went, maybe it means consexual, too,
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they knew what consensual meant. But maybe Ricardio didn't. You definitely don't get the impression that the Ice King knows what consent means.
No. But to be fair, I mean, Pendleton Ward, kind of genius guy, like big fan. But, it's not like he strikes me as the literary type. Like, he's more like, casual writing. So I'm not saying consensual is a big word, but what I'm saying is this is the type of show and he's the type of creator that I wouldn't be surprised if just the wrong word was used.
That's true. And I guess this did come out before the internet kind of exploded around the word consent. Like, remember there was that period of time a few years ago.
The Me Too kind of thing was.
That's
how that word was brought to my attention.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the word existed, but I don't know that.
I meant in the context of
it had been
consent is sexy and the kind of young people speak.
Yeah. So, that really could be part of it.
Consent is sexy, such a weird phrase. And I get
I mean, what the cabbage, Alex?
I agree with the concept, but it's like, it's sexy, contract law. Oh, yeah, tort reform. Like, it's such a, like a...
Okay, now hold on. Tort reform is sexy.
Yeah, fair enough. My bad. Yeah. So there's another moment in here. So Finn starts freaking out, and I really do enjoy him not understanding his emotions and not knowing how to articulate them. He's like, no, I feel weird. And
Jake's like, you have a new emotion that you don't understand.
Yeah, and it's really fun. And then Princess Bubblegum says, that's jealousy, hun. Mm-hmm. Then hun.
Yeah.
Hun.
She continues to play with him. Like, she knows he's feeling jealousy. You're right. I know we had a disagreement about Princess Bubblegum maybe not being aware of Finn's feelings early on in our podcast.
Yeah.
And this episode did make me realize, like, she is playing with Finn's heart.
Yeah.
Which isn't cool, Peebs.
But also, I think it works with her character, because later it's discovered that she's fluent in German, which, we all know what that means.
Now, hold on a second.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what that means.
But we also know that Princess Bubblegum really goes after the nerds.
Truth.
Because she has that line, Finn, you shouldn't punch brainiacs. You know how fragile they are.
And I felt that. I felt like I was being spoken to finally.
Yeah. Like,
finally, my nerdy, fragile... Oh, wait, no, I forgot I'm a man, Mountain. My apologies. I can't keep all this, kayfabe character work in line. So, yeah, you shouldn't punch brainiacs. Ice King reveals that Ricardio is actually evil because he's his own heart, which is it's an interesting kind of self-referential thing. I don't know how to word this, but like, it's that they're riding this line where Ice King knows that his heart's evil, but there's no awareness of Ice King thinking he's evil.
Right.
Which is like, that's good writing there, that somehow they managed to keep the character intact enough that he thinks he's the good guy. He's just a lonely guy trying to get princesses.
Yeah.
But also he's aware that his heart's evil. And they landed that well.
They did. I agree. And I think also there are more hints to like the Ice King's nature. The fact that he can live without a heart. Like, he looks pretty rotten without the heart in him, but he's immortal because of his curse.
Yeah.
And he can live even though he ripped his own heart out of his chest and animated it.
Speaking of which, I'm going to cut out Princess Bubblegum's heart and make out with it.
Yeah.
We've all been there, bro. We have all been there.
Does she even have a heart? Isn't she made of solid bubblegum?
She is, but I feel like I've seen heart-shaped bubblegum before.
Yeah, but if you put heart-shaped bubblegum inside other bubblegum, it's all going to just stick together.
Yeah, but I mean, in the magical bubblegum kingdom, that she's like kind of the platonic ideal of bubblegum. I think if she just adds any bubblegum to her, it'd just become part of her. So if she put,
Okay, we're going to come back to this when we learn more about Princess Bubblegum in later episodes, I think, because I think that it's possible that Princess Bubblegum doesn't have a heart. I don't know that she has blood.
Yeah, if anything, it'd be like some kind of like sucrose or...
yeah, you remember those...
corn syrup.
What were those bubble gums that you'd bite into them and they had like the juice on the
gushers.
inside? Gushers.
Yeah.
Does she have gusher juice running through her veins?
That's what she said?
Ugh.
So Ricardio gets the shit kicked out of him, and I like his beaten up face, and gets shoved back into Ice King's chest, and it's a happy ending. And the ending after that is Princess Bubblegum does a handstand, puts a cutout picture of Jake on her butt, and tries to make Finn kiss it.
Yeah.
And she says, "Am I doing this right, Jake?" Which is a funny moment.
Yeah.
But also just going to the she's fucking with him thing. She's saying in the nicest way, be intimate with my lower regions, Finn.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
But also answers the question, do they eat ass in the Candy Kingdom?
And the answer is, if your ass is made of bubblegum.
Is a resounding yes. I'm here to eat ass and chew bubblegum, and thank God I'm in the Candy Kingdom and can do both simultaneously.
But I can't multitask.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have on that episode. Which weirdly... Oh, no, I have one more point, though. Going to this was the one that So the first episode that I think is a total flop is the Juicy Boy one.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But I was thinking I was going to say that about Ricardio because I hate the character, but I like every other thing in the episode other than when he's on screen. Everything else works for me.
Yeah, and I honestly, Ricardio also, the episode annoys me, so even though I've watched a lot of Adventure Time episodes a second time, or third or fifth or 10th, however many, I have never really rewatched the Ricardio episode. And the re-revelation that he's the Ice King's heart does sort of change how I feel about this episode. Because it does make me realize, like, oh, this is kind of important. It is sort of a character development episode. And Ricardio does come back later.
I just have no kind of fondness for the character, so it's hard for me to... But I did enjoy the stuff surrounding him.
He's still more enjoyable than Lemon Grab.
I would rather watch a Lemon Grab episode significantly more than watching a Ricardio.
Oh, man.
I'm fine with the screechiness. I think it's kind of funny. And the stuff he says is very amusing.
That's true.
Like he's just in pure existential rage all the time. It's great. That was that. And let's do a segment.
Okay, well, hold on. If we are voting for our favorite background character in the episode.
We still have a whole... No, I was going to say of the 3 episodes...
Of the 3 episodes, we have to pick one out of all 3 episodes?
Well, no, just like the best guy that won all 3 episodes. That won tonight's episode.
Oh, so we still got a whole other... know who it's going to be between. I already know who...
That's fine, but we'll do it at the end of the episode.
Okay,
I think it'd be a good closing segment of who wins.
All right. What's this segment called?
I don't know. What do we want to do? You've got...
I have some show and tell.
You have show and tell.
Do you have a shiny rock?
I've got many shiny rocks.
Okay, I have 2 shows and tells. 2 show and tells?
Well, I'll do shiny rock right now because that doesn't take as long. We'll do the final episode, and then we can we'll close out the episode with your show and tell.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's going to be much stronger than what I have here.
I don't know. What's your shiny rock? Hey, Alex, have you found any shiny rocks lately?
Boy, howdy have I. I've got a running list of weird shit I've run into. Here's a question for you. Did I, on this show, tell you about the origin of snake oil?
No.
Okay. Interesting. So you know the phrase snake oil salesman,
Yes.
which is describe it for me. What is that?
Well, a snake oil salesman is someone who sells patent medicines.
yeah, and that basically
Generically, it's someone who sells some sort of product that is being sold with lots of false claims.
Yes.
Like it might be a product that does nothing. It might be a product that isn't as good as he's saying, or it might be a product that's downright harmful.
So what's interesting about that is the origin of snake oil salesman, using the phrase snake oil salesman to use that kind of pejorative term, is not because people sold snake oil as a patent medicine, which is where the term snake oil comes from. It was Chinese immigrants would break down the snake and put it in the suspension liquid. I think it might be some kind of alcohol, and they used it as a medicine. Mm-hmm. But apparently high in omega-3s, high in omega-6s, it was literally good for you. People started making ersatz bullshit forms of the snake oil using American like rattlesnakes and stuff, which doesn't really have the omega-3. It's basically shitty for you. So being a snake oil salesman is not the person that sells this fake-ass snake oil. It's someone who sells fake-ass snake oil. So it's actually a two-layered thing of where the term snake oil salesman comes from.
Yeah, I guess I had known that because I'd read about the snake oil salesman before, but it is just weird that snake oil was a real thing, but fake snake oil.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We kind of have the same thing now, like with olive oil, right? Like,
yeah, it's very much
so
like olive oil.
much
Yeah.
of the time when you buy olive oil in the grocery store, it's not really olive oil.
Yeah.
And so we could almost, talk about olive oil salesmen, except that I think people really, really enjoy living in the myth of olive oil. Like I know I do. I know that I probably can't afford real olive oil, so when I buy it at the grocery store, I'm probably getting like, canola oil with some olive oil added in or something.
Yeah.
But that's all I can afford, and I got to pretend.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to do one more shiny rock.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the choice. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 words and one weird theory I just found out. You choose. You want a word?
We're doing a weird theory. Absolutely.
Okay.
So hold on. We need a different topic. We need a different name for this.
Well, no, it's a shiny rock.
Is it a shiny rock or is it a Bigfoot sighting?
I like shiny rock.
Okay, fine.
That's the whole point. I ran into some weird shit because I don't want to get stuck with just saying random words all week. The snake oil salesman technically isn't a word, so that's
Snake oil is a term.
Yeah, But anyway, so
okay,
this is a short one because it's utter bullshit. But I've never run into this conspiracy theory before. So much like Paul McCartney was meant to have died in a car accident, and he was replaced by a lookalike in the Beatles back in the 60s or whatever. There is a theory that George Washington, founder of our country, whatever, died and was replaced by, get this,
Adam Weishaupt.
Adam Weishaupt. I'd never heard that before.
I think that theory came from Illuminatus by.
Oh, no shit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
not
I think that actually came directly from Robert Anton Wilson and Robert
Oh,
Shea.
that sucks. That's what I said. I didn't do any research on it. I just read.
Yeah.
But I ran into it as someone claiming that to be a real thing, which is perfect for the Illuminatus Discordian stuff there. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know a whole lot about this, but I will first of all refill your sake.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it's
Arigato,
domo.
Mr. Roboto. Thank you very much, Mr. Roboto,
You're welcome.
for handing me the sake when you needed to. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to have some too, and you can't.
I was just doing Styx lyrics to fill time, but making them about sake.
There is a great conspiracy theory about George Washington. I think it's either George Washington or Thomas Jefferson speaking a prophecy about the United States.
Ooh.
And that's kind of a fascinating one. I don't know a whole lot about it, but maybe we should look into that for next time.
I like it very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you one word just because.
Okay,
I
let's do a word.
1, 2, 3, 1 through 4. Name a number.
I will name the number 2 George.
Number 2 was perfect because that's the one I wanted to read.
Okay.
Do you know what Lalokezia is?
Lalokezia. I do not. I'm trying to break it down into pieces in my head, and it's not working.
Lalokesia is when, like, you're in some kind of pain, like, say you stub your toe and just go, fuck. It's using vulgar or indecent language to relieve yourself of emotional or physical pain. It was
It's my favorite
Lalokesia.
kind of. It's the most common type of magic spell.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's abracadabra and fuck my toe. Yeah.
Fuck my
Yeah,
toe.
but Lalokesia. It's a great phrase. Try to remember it. I never do. I've discovered that word. I'm going to say 6 times.
Hold on, I'm writing this one down. Lalokesia. So I write these words down, but not what they mean. Lalokesia.
Yeah, Chezia.
CH.
Yeah,
E.
Zia.
Whoa.
Like Lalo is like Lalia. That's speaking.
Yeah,
and then
I was thinking
Kezia,
of
I don't.
glossolalia.
Yeah, Kezia. I don't really know where that's from.
It's Greek.
It's all
I
Greek
know.
to me. That's a phrase that people say.
Yeah.
Let's stop here before we go into episode 3 to say this.
Okay.
We would love if you followed us on social media.
Yes.
We are Wiz Biz Podcast on Instagram and on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And if you like the show, leave reviews and tell your friends and retweet things and that sort of stuff.
Interact with us.
Any kind of interaction really helps shows, especially when they're starting out, which the show is. So we thank you beforehand.
Yeah.
And also really, really guilt you beforehand if you don't do it.
I mean,
like,
honestly,
really guilty.
if we are missing important things about Adventure Time episodes, we really, really want to hear about it too, because
Yes.
this is a rich show. There's a lot going on, and Alexx and I have diverse and fascinating backgrounds. We are both international people of mystery, but
Truth.
yeah, very, very true. I mean, you've been to Canada.
I've been to Canada. I've been on podcasts that are heard outside of America.
Ooh.
People still think my name is Alex. I mean, no. I didn't jump out of that plane after stealing that money.
But anyhow, if we're missing stuff in Adventure Time that you think we should be paying more attention to, please tell us, yell at us.
Yes.
It's an old show. A lot of fans are, we're getting old now, and we've had a lot of time to rewatch these episodes, and we're probably gonna shit talk your favorite episode. So, may as well.
Write in, talk to us. Also, and just face it, at least one of the hosts is like really lonely. So, just talk to me, please. I mean, one of us. I'm not going to give away which one really, really so lonely. Oh my God, someone just talked to me. Okay.
Okay.
Now that business is over, let's talk about business time.
Business time. This episode is a fun one. I liked it. At the same time, I'm really glad that that we aren't spending half an episode on it.
Yes, I think this worked out well. Let me give you a small anecdote from this that kind of ruined the episode for me. It is not the episode's fault. We start out with them flamethrowing, using a flamethrower on chunks of ice to get out, old articles from the pre-Mushroom War civilization. And Jake keeps finding baby shoes.
Which is...
And I just that what was it? The saddest sentence ever is baby crib never used.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. I just had that thought of just like, oh, that was darker, deeper than I needed at the start of this lighthearted episode. I was like,
it made me think of like, God, there's that whole thing like along the Pacific coast. There's, I think especially in Puget Sound, there's like shoes that wash up.
Oh, yeah, this is
shore
Vancouver,
with
BC.
feet in them.
Yeah.
And like. Nobody knows where the feet are coming from.
Yeah.
And it made me think of that. It was just creepy. And the other thing, I really think that this was on purpose. When they defrost the businessmen out of that iceberg, was that not an homage to Avatar, The Last Airbender? Because Aang came out of an iceberg.
Oh, no, I know. I was just thinking if I could come up with something better than that, but no.
Or was it an homage to Encino Man?
I feel like maybe both, because I'm pretty sure Brendan Fraser is the first of the rock. What do you call them in Avatar? Benders. He's the first rock bender.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that show in a while.
Earthbender.
Yeah, whatever. He's a caveman, so there's only rocks. They didn't graduate to soil yet.
That's true. Yeah, the rocks hadn't broken down.
Another great Adventure Time quote in the beginning here is, and I quote, "Hard work sucks." Which, it's crazy. So you and I are men of a certain age. You more than me. But remember how big of a deal it was, like when Beavis and Butthead said "sucks" on TV?
Yes.
That it was like the moral degradation of society and ruining the children's. And now this wholesome as fuck show says sucks like it's nobody's business.
It reminds me of, so there's that whole thing, like neither of us are parents, but you know that like parents try to keep their kids from saying bad words.
Yeah.
Well, apparently sucks is still considered a bad word by some people. Like I remember my nibblings telling me, Uncle Eric, you can't say sucks. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, is that a bad word? And apparently it's bad enough.
So
it apparently upsets some grandparents.
Yes, because here's the thing, because we don't think of it that way, because it's been, truncated and shined up and ultra utilized and done the most professional way possible.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
But I mean, it's supposed to be, when you say sucks, you're saying sucks cock.
Yeah.
You're just doing it in a shortened form, and we forget that. We just use sucks. It's like, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
is it a bad thing?
Sucking cock?
Yeah.
I mean, I think for a 5-year-old to say that, probably.
Okay, that's probably true. Okay, but
because I think foul language kind of goes away once puberty hits.
I was just I just remember being kind of like, oh, weird. It's sort of like, damn being considered a bad word still. Like, that's not really a bad word.
Well, that's just Christian bullshit.
Yeah. I saw a really good TV show. It was, during the pandemic, Netflix had these great sort of like short little documentary series that they did. And one of them had an episode that was like curse words. And they just sort of went into the history of different curse words and how people felt about them.
Oh, that's fun.
It was pretty interesting. And it turns out that like, of all the words that they had, I think they did like, shit, fuck, damn, and I don't remember. There were probably 4 or 5 words. Damn was the one that people were most surprised about. They're like, that's a bad word. And most people just didn't even consider it.
If you asked me to list the bad words, I don't think I would have come up with damn.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either. I'm not really sure that I think about it too often. Like, there are words that I try not to just say all the time, although I'm saying them this episode. I'm going to blame the sake. I've had a glass of sake and it's making me swear a lot. God damn it.
Yes. So what I like to say is the Christian God damn you to hell where your soul will burn eternally but not be consumed. And I like to stare them in the eyes as I say it, but like really slow. And then I usually blow a kiss. That's what I like to do.
I don't think that's a bad word.
Well, when I say blow a kiss, I mean blow a dude named Kiss.
Right.
I'm sucking Gene Simmons' cock.
Hell.
I mean, that's literally the grossest thing I could think of.
Okay.
Gene Simmons is one of the worst.
But it does
humans.
remind me of something that Jake said about the businessmen when he was...
He just said hard work sucks. I mean,
No, he also said, they remind me of well-dressed pickles.
What do you think the deal with the businessmen having the kind of zombie sores on their face?
Oh, they were totally zombie businessmen. Like, they weren't alive.
Was there a zombie apocalypse as well as the Mushroom War?
No, but I suspect that between the Lich and the vampires running around...
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot. We got fucking vampires and
the toxic goo that was everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm sure, because they're not human. And they do kind of have almost a Hunson Abadir-esque shape to them.
That's right.
So, I suspect that they're some kind of indestructible demon businessman, which makes sense.
I did enjoy when they're waking up and they're like, I forget things, but I remember business. Which is fun, the kind of kid-like angle to this show of like not understanding what your dad does.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, he's in business. I don't know.
Which makes me think of, so the Lich hasn't really been introduced yet. But the concept of the Lich, in D&D is it's a powerful sorcerer who manages to become undead so that they can keep doing
Is that what the origin is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we discussed, I don't know D&D very well.
That's where it comes from. But so, the wizard can keep doing wizard stuff while undead. So I almost wonder if the businessmen are a sort of a reference to the Lich. Like, they became so obsessed with business that they decided to become undead so that they can continue doing business in the afterlife.
What a gross aspect of late stage capitalism.
It totally is. But like
zombie businessmen.
Like Jake also said, these poor souls are lost without jobs.
Yeah, that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
You know what I did like that's not sad at all? Is that Hot Dog Princess was being attacked by some kind of magical cubes.
Battle cubes, dude.
Battle cubes.
Yeah, those are dangerous.
That's... So this show gets more and more psychedelic as it goes on.
It does.
And that's like an early, just weird humming cubes in the sky. It's such an odd thing.
Yeah, and the fact that, they weren't really able to beat them. I mean, Jake could have at any time. Like, that's the thing that's so hilarious about this. Like, Jake underuses his superpowers so frequently. I think a lot of times because, he's just there to help Finn grow up.
Yeah, he's doing the older brother role.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun little thing, but there was a weird talk about consent. That businessman gets in the way of Hot Dog Princess kissing Finn, and then they all just sit there putting smooches on her body.
I mean, she looks really pleased with it.
Yeah, I guess, but it made me uncomfortable.
I did think it was interesting that it turns out Hot Dog Princess, even though she looks like a dachshund, is actually a hot dog.
Well, they're hot dog dogs.
Yeah, which is gross as hell.
I mean, you don't actually have to eat them. Have you ever heard of a spit dog?
Do I want to?
No, it's not gross at all.
Really? Because it sounds gross.
Well, because you're not from the old-timey times.
I'm not.
So a spit dog, and I think they're extinct now, were dogs bred to go around the fire with a spit. So it would turn the meat.
Oh, a spit dog.
Yeah.
Like the other kind of spit.
Yeah. But they don't exist anymore. I've got nothing else other than I was reminded that's a thing, and I found it interesting. Hey, look at this shiny dog I found.
I feel like with a hot dog, you would just have to train the dog to roll over a lot.
Yeah, or shove itself a casing of its own intestines.
Ugh. Have you heard the theory that if you eat a sausage, it doesn't stop being a sausage?
Yes, and that's very gross and accurate. So the businessmen start helping out Finn and Jake. They're Finn and Jake Adventure Time executives or whatever. And they build like a VR monitor setup using satellite imagery to see what's going on in the land of Ooh.
Yeah.
Which I just love the fact that there's still satellites up there, like just dully going through the routine of something 1,000 years or whatever after the world's over, which is, it'll happen.
Yeah. But it's also just crazy that they have access to all those surveillance cameras. They managed to watch Lumpy Space Princess getting chased by a monster and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, you'd think all the IT guys are dead, so there's probably not many firewalls still functioning.
I mean, all the businessmen are dead too, but there might be undead IT guys.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
Yeah, so Finn and Jake end up hanging out and getting super fat, eating ice cream. And they just send the businessmen to save people, and that's whatever. That leads the businessmen to building a giant mech suit, and they start sucking up
Finn.
Yeah, sucking up weird cotton people that are super cute. And they're like, this is the only way to save people. It's like being proactive. This is the most efficient solution. And it reminds me of this, one of the things they worry about with technology is the widget thing, where you build a sentient machine that has the ability to replicate itself and learn how to build mines or whatever, just a super efficient machine. And the only instruction you give it is build widgets. It will start killing every human, destroying the entire world, so all that's left is that factory and a giant pile of widgets, in which you would probably start making widgets out of the old widgets.
Yeah.
Because you don't program it to, stop.
Yeah, Neil Stephenson talks about this in Diamond Age. Have you read that book?
That might be where I got it from. No, I didn't read Diamond Age, so that's not where I got it from.
Okay, yeah, but in Diamond Age, there's this whole sort of nanotech war that happened where, some nanobots went crazy and started replicating themselves like mad and just turned everything into gray dust, and then they had to make new nanobots to fight the old nanobots.
Yeah.
And sometimes nanobots go wrong, and then they fight in the air and stuff, and you get sparkly rain, and it's nanobot wars, etc.
Sparkly Rain sounds pretty all right.
Yeah, except that if something goes wrong, those are nanobots that are just going to eat the planet.
Yeah, well, we're doing that anyway, so at least this way we get Sparkly Rain.
And it's not like we didn't make the nanobots.
Well, I mean, I guess if they start self-replicating, we didn't.
True.
What if God is one of us? Just a stranger on a bus.
Just a man making nanobots.
Yeah, just a man making nanobots. At the end of the episode, Jake, being super fat, saves the day by getting stuck in their vacuum and exploding.
By eating more ice cream and becoming larger.
Yes.
But also, there's this great scene where Finn and Jake are sitting on the couch playing video games and eating ice cream, and Jake has turned one of his hands into an ice cream scoop.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I'm just he is so good at being lazy.
And I also love any early BMO, because BMO doesn't have a personality yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
BMO was there.
Yeah, they're playing BMO as a video game.
Right.
I think this is BMO's second appearance, or maybe it's first. I watched the whole first season stupidly before we started. Now I don't remember what happens first. But yeah, BMO doesn't have a personality yet, which is interesting because BMO ends up being one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah, in fact, the mascot of our show is a little BMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake goes, well, that's good. And then he just sucks his gut in. He's like, I'm going to miss my gut. And Finn's like, I'm going to miss my gut too. And tries to suck his gut back in. And just, aw. Dude, I feel that. I feel that hard.
Yeah, me too. Now, there is a lesson in this episode, which is when Finn says, I never knew being fat and lazy was so rewarding. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, all right, it is. You know, it does have its own kind of rewards.
I wouldn't know. Because I'm definitely, well, I am lazy and looks down. Well, anyway, yes, I do know that. Oops.
Oops. Again, like Business Time, there's just not a lot to say about the episode.
Yeah.
There's very little arc building material in there.
Well, there is one, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there is one aspect that I guess we need to like really clarify.
Okay.
Because we know the future of the show, this probably is one of the first concrete references that we are living in the future of the world that we understand it. Because we've seen office chairs before, but now we're seeing people that wear ties. The guy with the red tie is the boss. They remember business. They use the term incorporated when they laser cut their...
Yeah.
So I feel like this is one of the earliest kind of establishing that this is a post-apocalyptic world, which gets very clear later.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. And I think they even make some reference to the fact that they're like salvaging stuff from the before times.
Yeah.
From, a long time ago.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that that is an important point. But I think overall, the reason that we really had to do 3 episodes isn't because we thought these 3 episodes suck. It's because we wanted to kind of get back into... We wanted to sync up with the 2 episodes of Adventure Time per one episode.
You didn't like them not being divisible by 2.
Well, it's not that. I just... Okay, yes.
Yeah, you want to... No, I got you. I was throwing no shade there. Totally get it. I like even divisibility. That sounds perfect.
So are we going to talk about favorite background characters?
Yeah, all right. So favorite background character, or, and when I say this, again, I'm just spitballing this idea.
Do we need to have a segment name for this?
No, because frankly, I think the segment name thing is going too far. And I doubt we're ever going to get any music for it. Hey, audience at home, if you like this show...
I'm going to make some music.
Yeah, I know, but this feels like gilding the lily.
Okay, fine. It's in the future. The music's still being developed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great. But audience at home... we are totally open if you're like a fan of the show. You want to make us like a little ditty or something for random segments we have. We'd totally use it. So or theme songs. Well, Eric's making a good theme song, but if it sucks, you can write a better one.
Yeah, and we're open to changing theme songs and stuff like that. But interstitial music. Like if you have a 2 or 3 second little thingamajig you've made.
Yeah, totally. a look at the shiny rock I found. Thing.
And we'll give you a credit even. And Alex will spell one of your names right.
Yeah, I'm not making that kind of promise.
Okay, fine. Alex will spell them phonetically.
I will get your name pretty damn close. That's what I promise. So, favorite background character. Also, just amendment to that is it can be a major character if they did something awesome. That's fine.
Okay,
I just mean who out of these 3 episodes, which person on our TV won?
Okay, I am sort of wobbling between 2 characters.
All right.
First, Stanley the Watermelon.
Okay.
The most redeeming character, the only amazing background character in The Jiggler was Stanley the Watermelon.
Yeah.
So I think that gives Stanley a really big leg up. Second, and I know that this isn't going to surprise you a whole lot, Peppermint Butler.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to say Watermelon Stanley.
Uh-huh.
In a very close tie with one of the left baby shoes.
What about BMO?
BMO could suck my dick. He doesn't even talk yet. See how gross it is when you say suck my dick instead of BMO sucks?
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. And BMO's a little boy.
Alex, gross.
No, that's what BMO says in the show.
You're making it worse.
Am I? Well,
Yeah.
It's weird. I should hear that more often. Last segment.
Show and tell?
Show and tell.
Okay. I brought 2 things. They're both old. Well, they're both reproductions of old things. First is the Tarot de Montaigne. I don't know if you've seen this before. This is a very, very early tarot style deck. Here, take a look at it.
Now, when you say tarot style deck, you mean like this is like Taroki?
No, it's really not. We aren't. I don't think that anybody's super sure how it was used or what it was used for.
Oh, where does this come from? Or when does this come from? I should say.
The 15th century. So it's from some 1480s or something like that. So it's pretty old, and it is. I don't know. Let's take a look at the little white book. I wanted to bring it, but I didn't take very much time to research.
So what I'm looking at right now, the first card I have is Divine Light, which is A, and on the bottom it says Prima Causa-L 50, and then on top it says Divine Light, Lumiere Divine, Göttliches Licht, and Göttlich Licht. I just went with saying guttural U's and hoped it worked. And the picture in the center, and these are nice gold-leafed, shiny. They look like the special X-Men cards from 1993.
Yeah.
And it's the either Earth or this is the heavenly spheres, or is that Earth? Is that the underground?
No, that's the Divine Light. It's the whole Ptolemaic universe.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, yeah.
With the Divine Light around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like either an everlasting gobstopper or
it's
the
all
description
layered.
of the spheres or the description of what happens under the Earth.
So hold on, let me talk a little bit about the deck.
Okay, no, I was just describing it while you're getting that page ready.
So there are 50 cards in this deck, broken up into 5 groups of 10. The first group are the human conditions, and those are numbers 1 through 10. The second group, numbers 11 through 20, are Apollo and the 9 muses. 21 through 30 are the arts and sciences. That's the liberal arts and sciences, so the trivium, the quadrivium, and then philosophy, astrology, and theology. 31 through 40 are the geniuses and virtues, and then 41 to 50 are the planets and celestial spheres. So it's kind of this interesting deck of images that encapsulate like what would be considered kind of like the entirety of Renaissance learning.
And sorry, remind me again when these happened?
The late 1400s.
And so that's almost the same time as tarot shows up. It's
Yes,
like
yeah,
the Taroki early tarot stuff. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why it's usually referred to as a tarot deck, but it doesn't have the same structure, and it doesn't seem to have the same purpose, and nobody knows if there was any sort of game that was supposed to.
Yeah, because tarot is based on like a card game that you can figure out, because I mean it's just the standard deck of cards plus the trumps on top and the extra one guy in the royal family there.
Yeah, and so this is something else. I think that there is I don't know that there's any idea that it was used for divination. I personally feel
they're cool. I like them.
Yeah. I think it was probably used as some sort of mnemonic device, like an art of memory sort of deck. The other show and tell, kind of related to something we talked about last week. So remember last week I brought the... I'm sorry, when I say last week, I mean last episode.
That's fine.
Yeah. So last episode I brought the Sworn Book of Honorius, which on its cover had the Sigillum de Ameth.
The John Deason.
The John Deason. So I recently got this. It's the Monas Hieroglyphica by John Dee. And this is a new translation, and it's from Ouroboros Press. I believe it just came out earlier this year in 2022. What's that, the year we're in?
It is currently 2022.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
I think this either came out early 2022 or late 2021. But it's beautiful. It's a nice little book. It's well bound. Ouroboros Press is a small press out of Seattle run by William Kiesel.
Now, just to interrupt you for 1 second on that, is that how you pronounce that word?
Ouroboros?
Is that...
That's how I pronounce it.
I don't have... I always say Ouroboros, which I'm not claiming correctness.
I'm not
it's
either.
not a word I use particularly often. And you're better at like Greeky stuff than me. I'm like, oh, that could be... Yeah.
Hold on, show me... Let me see the name again. Maybe I'm
O-U-R-O Boris.
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros.
That's how I'm going to say it, and I'm sure people out there are going to argue with me, but that's how I'm saying it.
Yeah, I was in no way claiming you to be correct or right or wrong. I just was, let's see.
Yeah, it's a pretty book, isn't it? Smell
Yes.
it. Give it a smell. And Alex was never seen again.
Yeah. Or now I've convinced you to have a three-way with your wife or whatever fucking that weird John D shit he got to.
It was wife swapping.
Yeah, because the angels told him to. It's so great. Yeah, this is cool. I tried reading the Monas Hieroglyphica, whatever the old the old translation was a few years back, and I realized that I don't know nearly enough about the magical systems at that time for that thing to make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have not tried reading this yet, but
It would probably be pretty clear to you. It was just a little too far from what I know to make it really work for me.
well, I tried reading. Well, hold on. I did try the older translation. I mean, this is the size of it. The rest of it is all other junk, so it's not actually super long.
Yeah.
It goes from page 51 to like 100 and something. So it's like a little more than
Yeah, there's
50
like
pages.
an epistolary at the front. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the monad itself, though. It's this great combination of like all the different planetary symbols and alchemical symbols, and John Dee was just
Oh,
like,
100%, yeah.
let's squish them all together and make it more magical.
Yeah, no, it's one of the best kind of sigil symbol things that you're ever going to run into.
Yeah. And I recently made some hieroglyphic monad keychains,
Ooh.
which by the time that this episode is released will be available for sale on the Arnemancy website.
I'm guessing that's arnemancy.com.
Arnemancy.com.
Beautiful.
So you can go check those out. They'll be cheap and delightful, and will look great with your keys, I'm certain.
On that note, I'm going to plug, there's a website that I have called alexbolin.com, which is just a link to all the stuff I do. So I have another podcast called John and Alex Hate Stuff that's still going. I've got the archive of the Alex Cast that's still up. And there's a link to the books I've written that are available on Amazon. If you don't like supporting Amazon, feel free to get in touch with me. I will gladly sell you one. And or if you just ask politely, I'll probably just send you one because I'm a sucker and I don't care about money. I just want people to read the books. Yeah, so now...
They're good books. I really like them.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I edited your that short story collection of yours.
Yes.
And I loved the stories.
Yes, Eric got a thank you in the opening pages of that book.
It's my claim to fame.
Yes, that's called The Theravada Machine and Other Stories, available on Amazon. I recommend getting the e-edition because it is cheaper and the layout worked a lot better. I had some
Oh, really?
I had some publisher issues. Yeah, the print version's got some wonky layout in it.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
The amount of money it takes to fix it, and then I would have to like worry about whether I need to keep the old publisher's name on it, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it. It's fine. You know.
Right. Well, cool. Well, so are we nearing the end of our episode?
Oh yeah, we're done. That was we're finishing up
That's
now.
it.
Yeah.
So hold on. Do we have like a closing out? Follow us on social media, Wiz Biz Podcast, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'm at Alex Bolin. That's my personal one. He's at Arnemancy.
I'm at Arnemancy. We really, really would love to hear feedback. Tell us what you think. Tell us if there's anything we could be doing better with Adventure Time.
Is there anything we could be doing worse so that we could try less hard?
Oh, yeah. That would help, too.
Yeah, like if you're like, hey, if you guys don't really want to do X, but that we're doing, be like, hell yeah, because, as we learned in this episode, hard work sucks.
Hard work sucks, and I will tell you that we are not poor souls who are lost without jobs. I think both of us would love never needing to have a job.
Yes, this is true. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not obsessed with business.
Yeah,
what
me
I would
neither.
like to do is not have to spend 40 some odd hours of every week of my life going to a place just so I could have health care.
Oof, yes.
Which brings up the other running theme that we should have in the show is Alex wants to marry someone in a civilized country for citizenship. So any ladies out there or fellas that live in a country where that's cool,
Yeah.
But-
Canadians, Mexicans,
just
anybody,
want just
anywhere.
sham marriage somewhere. Oh yeah, Canadian would be perfect. If I could become a Canadian citizen,
Yeah, 'cause it's
Fuck
cool
yeah.
up there. It's nice and cold. Yeah, I would become a Mexican citizen also.
yeah, Mexico's. I actually looked at Mexico, but anyway, the point is, anybody out there who wants a sham marriage with a writer / podcaster, you'll get thanked in every book. I can probably give you a few $1,000 if you really need it.
And he eats ass.
And I eat ass. Yeah, and I swing a huge hog. I mean,
It's like hot dog princess. Down
yeah.
there.
I was gonna say it's a hot dog prince is what I call it. I can't think of a better way to end this
Freddie
episode.
Hot Dog Prince Jr.
Yeah, probably that. All right, thank you all, and we will see you next time.
Adios.
Bye.
Goodbye, Gunter.